they were the books that I was expecting to completely love, obsess over, talk about the characters 24 into 7 once I complete the book. But somehow I ended up DNFing them. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about the 5 books that I DNF'd. They weren't some random books, rather, they were the books that I was expecting to completely love, obsess over, talk about the characters 24 into 7 once I complete the book. But somehow I ended up DNFing them. And this doesn't mean that the books were bad. Rather, it just didn't work for me. It's all about timing, experience, and your personal taste. So, what I like might not be what you like, and what you like might not be what I like. So, with that thought, let's just talk about the first book that I DNF'd. And the book was Tainted Ties. This book was a mafia romance, enemies to lover trope, and this is a kind of trope that I love. But somewhere between the idea and the execution, things just didn't work for me. Firstly, the characters Aurora and Roman, they had huge potential, but I could not fully connect with them. For example, like Aurora, our FMC, her emotional journey felt a little surface level. It lacked depth considering the trauma she was supposed to carry. And secondly, Roman, I get that he was supposed to be a mafia man, dark, morally grey, but he came more of a one dimensional rather than intense, and I needed that depth, more reason to understand why he is the way he is. And most importantly, the pacing felt really off because it was rather dragged where it needed tension or was rather rushed where it needed emotional depth. And the writing style didn't fully work for me. So, this was a book that I DNF'd. Now, the next book might come surprising for many of you because when it was released, it was everywhere. And the book is Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. Yeah, I know I DNF'd this book. And it's not because it was bad, it just didn't work for me. The premise was insane. 6 powerful magicians chosen to join the Alexandria Secret Society, where only 5 will make it through. So it had everything: dark academia, morally grey characters, powerful secret societies, mystery, magic system, and I was supposed to like this book, but my reading experience with the book was exhausting. The biggest issue for me with this book was that how dense and introspective the writing was, especially with every character analyzing either themselves or each other or their powers or their philosophies. It was cerebral, and while I love depth, it was very repetitive and it kind of got exhausting for me and overwhelming too at some points. I just couldn't complete the story, the book. I was so done with it. The next book that I DNF'd was Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, and this was supposed to be a soft, funny, quick, fluffy romance kind of story. And the setup was honestly so fun: college romance, figure skater, and hockey player romance. But for me, it didn't hit the way I wanted it to. And the biggest issue was the pacing and the length. It was unnecessarily long, and there were some incidences that dragged without adding any emotional depth. And that is how the majority of my experience with this book went. The characters were fine, no doubt, but the writing was casual. And with this book, I just needed something more. The story just couldn't capture me, as I was thinking it would. Next book that I DNF'd was The Temporary Rumi by Sarah Adams. This book, I had such high hopes because I love a fake dating kind of trope. And this book sounded like a perfect, cozy, soft romance. But the execution with this book felt a little too predictable. There weren't enough stakes or tension to keep me curious till the end, and the characters were sweet, like too sweet. Moreover, their relationship developed in a very casual, soft, and expected way. And I missed the spark, that moment where you are like, now I am obsessed with these two characters. There wasn't any kind of spark in this book. Also, the pacing was also a little uneven. So I decided to DNF this book too. Okay, so now the last book that I DNF might come as shocker because anyone who knows me knows I love Sarah and Jimas. Like, I'm obsessed with her. I love her writing, I love her books, her 2 series. Akotar and Throne of Glass. I'm obsessed with them. So I went into this third series, Crescent City, expecting the same experience. I was just so excited to read this series too. And instead, I dragged through the two books. Why? Because I wanted to give it a chance. I so much wanted to love this series. From the very first page, it throws you into a complex, massive world with different houses, hierarchies, species, and it just keep on coming and coming with each chapter. It was a lot of info dumping. For the first book, I wasn't reading it, I was just surviving it because I wanted to know where the story is going. For the first half of the book, I could not understand the plot. The character Bryce was promising, she was powerful. I knew there was going to be a backstory that would be just as powerful, but I could not understand her. She had so much pain, depth, and she was such a powerful creature, but she was just so stupid. You know, I just could not see and understand where she was coming from. And because I was so busy trying to understand the story, the plot, that I could not connect with the characters. Maybe if I would have read Crescent City first and then Ekotar or Throne of Glass series, I might have liked it, maybe in the parallel universe. But I know there are some people who love Crescent Cities. So maybe it's like this is one of those books that if you like it, you just like it, and if you don't, you just don't. So these were the five books that I DNF'd, and I know they were very popular, they were very hyped. If you like them, I'm a little jealous because I could not connect with them like you do. So that is all for my today's vlog. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.